So I recently got some blood work done through my employer. Now I'm going to share this information with you, share the blood work that I got, and also show some previous blood work results that I had. I want to put out there right away, though, just preface this with that I did not get a bunch of different things done. So, like a lot of carnivore, low carb doctors will tell you that you should have all these different uh, things done in your blood work. That wasn't necessarily done. This was just something from my employer through the insurance company with them that they offer for free, a free screening that they do every year. And the way they do it is if you do the screening after you've done it, they will give you in your check, your payroll check, like $200 back. So I thought that was a pretty good thing. So I've done that every year. And so here's my results. Again, it's just a select number of things that they actually check. All right, so I'm gonna look at these results as I go, just kind of read them off to you. But this was just done on Friday morning, and I got the results back on Monday. So um, I'm just going over those results. And first of all, the first thing I want to point out here is my HDL was a 51. Now I'm a little over 3 years on the carnivore diet. Um, 3 years and a month and a half, somewhere in there on the carnivore diet. 51 is the best HDL number I've ever had. If I look back before carnivore, and this goes back to April of 2022, I was 38. So I'm now 51. Last year at this time, I was 42. So it increased to 51. Great for me. Okay, triglycerides, they are 134. Now, let me explain a little bit about my triglycerides. Uh, you might be saying somebody that's been on a carnivore diet for 3 years should not have a 134 number for triglycerides. And that is true. But I have a medication that I take for my blood pressure that one of the side effects is it raises triglycerides. I can tell you that before I was taking that medication, I had a number of 73 on my triglycerides. That was, I want to say that was back in 2017 or 2018. After I started taking that medication, the number skyrocketed quite a bit. Um, in April of 2022, before I started carnivore, it was 273. Last year at this time, it was 160. So it's definitely been going down, and it's 134 this time. So it's continuing to go down a little more. Still over 100. So more than I think it should be. But knowing that I have that medication that I've been taking that does raise my triglycerides a little bit, I'm okay with the number where it is. Okay, LDL is 127. Now, I'm going to tell you, before I started carnivore, that number was 82, and it's gone up a bit. It was actually 137 last year. It was 127 this year, so not much of a difference. But maybe I saw the increase as I got to like the 2 year mark on carnivore, and now it's kind of leveling off a little bit. So that's where I'm at, 127. Total cholesterol, number of 203, and that number was 158 before I started carnivore back in April 2022. It's continued to go up as well. It was 209 last year. It's 203 this year. So still not a very bad number at all. You can see I'm not necessarily one of those people that is considered a lean mass hyperextender, hyperresponder. Sorry. So anyway, okay, glucose number was 97. Last year was 90. Before I started carnivore was 99. The 90 last year and the 97 this year, I don't know if there's really anything to that. Just weird things that can happen, I guess. A1C number was 5.1. It was also 5.1 last year. I will say, before I started carnivore, it was 4.7. And the first year into carnivore, it was still 4.7. So it has gone up a little bit, something that a lot of people with carnivore have seen, that their A1Cs go up a little bit. But I am not concerned with the 5.1 number. It's still within a good range for me, and it's something that I think is expected, that you see your A1C go up, especially if you're eating like one meal a day, which for quite a while I was doing. I've kind of been back to eating two most of the time lately, but I expect that 5.1, I went up a little bit from the 4.7 to 5.1. So I'm not concerned at all with that number. My waist, said this before I started carnivore, was a 56. Last year was a 50, and this year it's a 47. Here's the interesting thing. Last year in August at this time, I actually weighed about, I'd say about 5 to 10 pounds less than I weigh now. So even though I weigh 5 to 10 pounds more, I've lost 3 inches on my waist. So that tells me that I've lost fat, but between muscle building and other stuff, that my actual weight is a little bit more. And that's why I also think that it's very important that you don't just look at your weight on a scale when you're looking at things, especially on the carnivore diet or low carb, because there's so many different factors and you really need to check your measurements, different things. Just because of, the changes in your body, you could be losing fat, but you're not losing, or I mean, you could be gaining or not losing weight, yet still losing fat. In my case, I actually gained a few pounds since last year, but I've lost 3 inches around my waist, which is pretty much the fat. Those are the main numbers I wanted to look at. Cholesterol to HDL ratio is a 4.0. Last year, it was a 5.0. That is not something that was tracked back in April of 2022, so I don't know what it was back then. But it's an improved number. 5.0 was considered more like risk or whatever. I think that had more to do with lower HDL and a higher triglyceride number than what I have now. But that's where I was. So it's at 4.0 now. A couple other things there, the PSA and the TSH, those are right in middle range, and they're pretty similar to last year. The TSH actually is a little bit better than it was last year. PSA is pretty much the same. So those are just numbers that they actually do in this free health screening thing. So those are the numbers. Again, it's mostly just your cholesterol numbers and stuff like that they look at, and then like A1C, waist measurement, that kind of thing. There's not a lot of other things in this that a lot of carnivore doctors or low carb doctors would recommend that you have done. But this was just a free health screening thing. So I'm just reading to you the numbers for me from that free health screening thing. And again, just because I have seen these numbers like I have, seen the improvements and the different things and so forth, doesn't mean that that's what you're going to see from doing a low carb or a carnivore diet. I've been carnivore for over 3 years, and this is my experience.